Oh, there was no black jurors. You know why? Because you can't be unbiased, you dumb shit. If you answer the question, I can't send a black man to jail because he's black, you're not getting on the jury. You're so unintelligent, you can't even fill out a form correctly. You don't even know who your daddy is because 78% of you don't have your father in the home anymore. You got baby mamas running around with 8 kids so they can get EBT cards to feed you all. You think I'm being racist? No, I'm being real. Because they ain't only black people. White people do the same. I'll call them out just as hard as I'll call you out. Anybody who doesn't work, who wants free government handouts, who wants to live in a socialistic society, move to Russia. And normally, I don't normally attack people like this, but I have been cooped up and caged up and this anger. And this is something I'm trying to work on. I need to develop it and funnel it into a more constructive way. But tonight is the one time I'm going to allow myself, it's okay. Tonight, I'm going to allow myself to say what I really want to say. Because most of the time, I don't say what I want to say because it's not correct. Just because you think something doesn't mean you believe it. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make.
Well, Jeff Metcalf, he's not going to be undone by Carmelo Anthony and his family. We know that Carmelo Anthony just hired a dream team of lawyers, and they're now fighting for the appeal. They brought in all kinds of high-profile attorneys from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And Jeff Metcalf, he's making his rounds. He's going around to Fox News, Megyn Kelly. He's talking to all the alt-right and far hardcore right radical conservatives. He's talking to them about everything. Now, in his racist rant when he went off, he didn't just talk about the unaliving of his child. He started talking about black people, slavery, us being lazy, us not being intelligent enough. Like, he went on a real racist rant that actually had absolutely nothing to do with his son. Nothing to do with his son. Like, a lot of black people caught strays that had nothing to do with it. Well, him and DL Hughly has been on his bumper. And he's been calling Jeff Metcalf out on his racism for some time now. And they've been trading barbs back and forth.
Any black people for the jury, but you miraculously can find black dudes on the football field or the baseball field or the basketball court. As I recall, the southern region has the most concentration of the highest concentration, the largest population of black people in the country. Black people, by and large, have 60% of black people live in the South. And more particular, the state of Texas has more black people than anywhere in the country. You do not have a problem finding black people to play games, but you somehow manage to have a problem with sitting them on the jury. You will never ever see in this country, and I'd be willing to bet there's never been a situation where a white guy killed a black guy, and that white guy was charged by a black prosecutor, tried by a black judge, and had a all-black jury give down the sentence. There's never going to be a reverse To Kill a Mockingbird, a reverse 12 Angry Men. And let me tell you something. Nobody's more angry than 12 black people who are not getting paid. They missing work to be at court. Even at that, you know how much of this could be avoided if white people just didn't walk up to black people and ask what they were doing there? I don't care if it's Trayvon Martin. I don't care if it's Ahmaud Arbery. I don't care if it's this case. What makes you believe you have the right to walk up to somebody and ask them what they were doing there? In this situation, it wasn't a coach who walked up to Carmelo Anthony. It wasn't an official. It wasn't a teacher. It was two 17-year-olds, the same age as him. What makes you believe you have the authority to question what somebody's doing there? You know how many things could avoid it if you just taught people to mind their own business? If your question to me is, why don't you teach black people or black children to respect authority? Why don't you discern who has it?
Now, DL was basically talking about telling your sons to keep his hands to himself. You should be teaching them about who actually has authority, right? He also was talking about if there was an all-black judge, right? All-black jury, all-black, defense DA team and everything else. They would be screaming, man, listen, this thing will be going crazy. We already know. See, these are things that this country already know. But they like to psychologically condition you to believe that their plight is right and yours is wrong. And a lot of y'all go for it. You start to support your historic oppressor. Like, look online. You got so many people defending them in a way that they would never, ever, 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 and ever defend you. Right? They going crazy defending these W folks, where they would never defend you to the manner in which you're defending them, right? But Jeff Metcalf, he went on to Fox, Fox News in an interview, and he started getting at The View, and he was calling them out for certain things.
We were talking about Jeff Metcalf, and full disclosure, he is Austin Metcalf's father. And he was killed by Carmelo Anthony. He's the father of the young man killed by Carmelo Anthony. And he went on, a media tour. Basically, he went on a media tour, and he was talking about the jury. Here's what he said.
What is your judgment of all these people in the media that have spoken on the case?
Well, they're just like anybody else. They don't know me. They don't know Hunter, Austin. They don't know Carmelo. They're looking for their 15 minutes of fame or their clickbait or their clicks. They're looking to monetize the death of my son. I really wish they wouldn't speak about at all. Because one, if that woman said that, she has no idea about the facts of the case, but she wants to spew her public opinion on a platform that reaches millions of people every day. Do I have that platform? No, but today I have a little platform to say what I'd like. She is completely wrong. And if they want to take me and call me and ask me to be on The View with them, I would gladly fly me up there and let me talk to all of you.
So as a grieving father, he's saying a lot of things, but the problem is he's saying a whole bunch of things that has nothing to do with a lot of stuff. Now, there's W men that's unalive black men. And those black fathers didn't come out in the public and say all the horrible things that he said about black people. Because if they have, they would have been ridiculed. And D.L. Hughly is going to expose this, especially what happened with Bill Cosby. When you had the Zimmerman situation, the father didn't come out and condemn all W folks, right? I mean, I can go on and on and on. Right? These black men, they didn't come out and condemn and say, talk about slavery and Jim Crow and all the things. This guy came out and said a whole bunch of horrible things that had nothing to do with the unaliving of his son. And he got exposed.
And the thing that I find repulsive is, yes, you are a grieving father. And no one, I don't think that anybody can do anything to assuage that grief. And I would never assail that. I don't know how you would react. I do know that when Bill Cosby lost his son to a racist guy who wanted to kill a black guy, there was not this kind of diatribe. We're not all equal to the same. The thing I was the most repulsed by is how he managed to meld racism and grief at the same time. What the people not knowing their father have to do with filling out juror forms? Like, and then he said, when he said they don't know how to fill the form, they don't know how to not to be biased. You know what they said on that form? How is he privy to that information? How does the father of the victim know what potential jurors said on their form? And the fact that you believe that black people cannot be fair, that only you can be fair.
Again, he was intimating on that thing that, right, he was going off that only W folks are intelligent. We're not intelligent enough to be on a jury. We don't have common sense. Only them, right? And remember when I told y'all, they only want it one way. They only want to see it one way. So listen, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care if you showed them the video of Austin stomping Carmelo. They would still find a way to justify why he was doing it, because they only want it one way. The only rights you have in this country is the rights that they give you. You have a right to shut up and like it. You have a right to shut up and take it, whatever we give you. He said that, right? So when you're listening to these people, there's not equality. So when you have these black conservatives taking up for them as if we in this racial utopia or we have some type of equality, these people are full of crap. They're full of crap and they grifting for money. They know the truth, right? They know the truth. And like I said, He's talking about black people's intelligence. He's talking about everything. But DL wasn't done.
Tells you a lot. You sent me something. We argued about this, and you sent me something about the voir dire, which is where you vet jurors and how they disqualify people. What did it say about black people?
So the interesting thing, right, is that like with that case, that they released, like the DA released like kind of some information.
Yes.
That was kind of
Right.
and they asked a bunch of racial based
Right.
questions, but they also have I just want to bring up the term. So like they have preemptory strikes,
Right.
which are done for no reason,
Right.
And so there were actually like 3 black potential jurors
Right.
that all worked in the school system. And then the prosecutor struck them all out, saying if you worked in the school system, you couldn't be
Right.
So, like the difficulty there too is I was doing some research last night, and these like these preemptive strikes, like are disproportionately used against black people.
72% of of strikes, because there is this belief, and it's really based on bias, that black people see black people and automatically suspend their right to be human and fair. When we know that the vast number of black men who are in prison, black people in prison, were sent there by black jurors, black judges, black prosecutors. Like who this is Fannie Willis.
So I am a prosecutor that I don't care if you're black, if you're white, if you're Hispanic, if you're Asian, if you're rich or you're poor. I don't care who your daddy is. If you violate the law in this county, you are going to be prosecuted.
A black prosecutor in Atlanta, one of the blackest cities in the country. We have
Tisha James out of New York.
Who do you think Puffy went to jail behind? Bill Cosby has gone. I remember when Kamala Harris was running for president, one of the knocks on her, and one of the things, the ideas that I had something to do with it, admittedly, and had to apologize for, was that she was a prosecutor who locked up black men. So black people have no problem sending black people to prison. Black people have no problem meting out justice of black people. What I found insulting about what he said is only one group has the ability to be just. And that seemed disingenuous to me.
This is where they play mind games with you. Let me talk to y'all for a minute. In Philadelphia, New York City, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Atlanta, right? Black DAs put black people and black men and women in jail every day. Texas, all over the country. All these cities where they talk about all this crime and murders, man, you got black trials going on right now where one black family's on one side, the other black on the other side. Man, black men are getting sentenced to life, recommendations to life from black people all day. So when you talk about they can't be fair or just, no, damn near no, in today's time, black people put their own people away. It's happening. So this is where the disingenuous part and where they lie, because they only want it one way, because he wants things to go in his favor, right? So they have to discredit you. They don't want a black judge on there. See, because they know all the things that they do to you. They know all the things that they have done to you and still doing. So they don't want to have where the odds are not in their favor, because they don't like to get punched back. They like to punch down and punch on people, but they don't want to get punched back, right? That's the hypocrisy. But see, a lot of y'all are so far gone, you don't even realize it, right? Everything he said is a lie. Because when you want to invoke Chicago and you want to invoke these shootings, it's a lot of times it's black DAs or assistant DAs that's putting these people away. So, nah, man, listen, nobody's more fair or forgiving than we are. That's why we talk about the Amber Geiger case, right? Amber Geiger went into a house and unalived a black man smoking some trees in his drawers, eating ice cream. She unalived him, and the black judge gave her 10 years, gave her a Bible, and like W folks would never done that, right? This whole thing is just goofy, right? But again, y'all don't teach y'all people to watch their mouth or leave people alone. right? Y'all don't do that. Y'all just use y'all cameras and the microphone to depict us in the worst possible way ever so people can have this preconceived notion about us. That's what you do. But you people are the original Jack Sparrows. You are the original Pirates of the Caribbean. You are the original people that did what you did to the Native Americans, the indigenous black people, the ones you brought here on ships, right? Jim Crow, burn churches down, create laws systematically and institutionally to oppress people. That's you. But for some reason, you condition the country to believe that we are the worst people. Come on, man. It's a mind FUC, and you know what, man? And y'all go for it, man. And Jeff Metcalf is one of those people, man. He's a part of that clan. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.